President Harris remains silent on the border crisis. Some in the media are even questioning what her role actually is. Aides say her focus has been on, quote, behind the scenes. But her public schedule for speaking every day last week tells a different story. Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis from New York and Wagner from Missouri just returned from the border, and they join us now with what they saw. So we'll get back to Kamala Harris in just a second. Thank you both for being with us this morning. Representative Malliotakis, I'll start with you. So you were just there at the border. This has been called a crisis by some. Others have said it's a humanitarian crisis. Are they right?
They're absolutely right. I mean, what we saw is basically that the president has turned over our borders to the cartels who are making $1 billion. This is a robust criminal operation of smugglers and cartels that are taking advantage and exploiting individuals and distracting, by the way, the Customs and Border Protection. As they are dealing with 170,000 migrants per month, there's all sorts of nefarious activities taking place, such as gun trafficking, drug trafficking, and sex trafficking as well. And this is what the Border Protection told us. And quite frankly, the president and the vice president can stop it right now by just reversing the executive orders that they put in place on January 20th that have led to this surge.
You know, Representative Wagner, we've seen a lot of photos and images that have emerged with the crowding, particularly during a pandemic. We hear that a lot of new processing centers are going to have to be opened up. Given what you've seen down there, being there front and center in person, is it shocking to you that Vice President Harris, whatever her role may be, if it's involved in immigration at all, hasn't made that trip to see it face to face herself?
They're completely ignoring the entire humanitarian and national security crisis that, frankly, Jedediah, they have created at the border. This should be laid at the feet and at the fault of President Joe Biden. I was down at the border in 2019 when I saw the kind of influx of illegal migrants coming across the border. And you know what? President Trump acted. He put 3 policies in place. The Remain in Mexico policy, which was apply for asylum in the U.S. but stay in Mexico. The cooperative asylum program that he had with the Central South American countries, with Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala, that said, again, don't make the journey, stay in Central America before you come. And the third was the public health cooperative order that was put in place, Title 42, to make sure that during a pandemic in particular, that people weren't flooding across our border. As a result of these failed and open border policies, catch and release policies that we witnessed right there in the Rio Grande Valley, we are seeing crime come to the interior, to the states, my state, my home state of Missouri. We're seeing crime come. We're seeing COVID and disease coming. And we're also seeing costs come, long-term costs, Jedediah, to the American public and taxpayer in terms of social services, in terms of public health and safety, and in terms of education long-term. This is a crisis that was created by Joe Biden, sustained by he and Kamala Harris, and they can stop it if they would just reinstate the Trump policies that worked.
You know, Congresswoman Malliotakis, Representative Wagner just cited those important policies. I think the Remain in Mexico policy has been cited the most, actually. So is this just political, then? Is this just an unwillingness on the part of this administration to say, we made a mistake, this is not sustainable what's going on right now, we need to look back at some of these policies and maybe give it a second look, but politically, they just can't do it?
They need to go visit the border and speak with the Customs and Border Protection that we spoke with. They will tell them that the policies that President Trump had in place were working. This is not. I don't know how any leader can turn over our borders to cartels, to a criminal organization. CBP is completely overrun right now. They don't have the manpower. They are being diverted because they have to sit in these facilities. They need to process individuals. They are supervising unaccompanied minors. You know, the migrants are being exploited. And of course, the American citizens. This is coming at a tremendous cost. This is not fair for anybody involved. If the vice president would just go there, I know that she will say the same thing that we are saying today, because no one can deny that this is a crisis, a 15-year high, completely unsustainable, and they just need to reverse it. It's you know, they can admit they're wrong and just reverse this policy.
Well, we want to thank you both,
Jedediah,
not only for being here today, but for go ahead. Briefly, we only have about 10 seconds, but go right ahead.
I will tell you that 40% of the field agents by the Border Patrol are being brought back in to process children and to be caregivers, not go after the cartels and the crime. That's what needs to be done.
Yeah.
They broke it. President Biden broke this. He needs to fix it.
Well, thank you both for being here, and more importantly than that, for going down to the border and taking a close look at what's going on in order to be empowered to fix it. Thank you so much for your voices today.
Thank you.
And every day on this issue. We're going to head over to Rick Reichmuth now.